Hello. I'm really sorry that there's no new Tuesday Talk episode this week. It's next week. I've been kind of since last episode suffering a little bit from art block and just I can't make myself sit down to work on the piece, and I'm doing like two headshots at a time, so I can't get that done in for Tuesday. So like I decided, hey, I'm gonna do this video instead. So let's talk about the new book. The other day, I read the excerpt of River, the first book of A Starless Clan, that was on the Warriors website. So I might have been exposed to some editing errors that have since been resolved. I don't really care that much. Uh, in my opinion, it wasn't terribly exciting. Like, it was another Warriors book that was probably not going to do anything to introduce its audience or make a good plot hook. So my expectations were pretty low. I was like at a 4 or 5 out of 10 before reading it, because of these characters, we were familiar with one of them, and none of them seemed like too exciting. Like, I wasn't that interested in any of these characters, but I wanted to get into the new arc just to be like, so I could make some content for it, you know? Uh, and when I read it, my expectations were met, and then only slightly exceeded. Like, Frostpaw, I think it's Frostpaw. I could be wrong. I don't remember, because I hardly touched her chapter. The River Clan Medicine Cat Apprentice, she was alright. She was kind of middle of, hey, I like Medicine Cats and I like River Clan, so I'm down for this, right? We haven't seen River Clan in forever. I don't think we've ever actually had a from River Clan in River Clan protagonist. And I'm excluding Feathertail and her brother because we never actually got to see into River Clan's politics or how their clan worked, so we just got to see them on a journey to the new territory. So that's kind of, they're just whatever. So I wasn't like that interested in her. Like, she was fine, right? I was kind of annoyed that it did pretty much exactly what it did at the beginning of A Fourth Apprentice, where it's like, okay, your mom's gonna tell you gotta look nice, and you're gonna become a apprentice, and all this stuff. Like, yeah, it was fine. It felt like a typical, hey, we're opening up Warriors, and we're seeing this character for the first time kind of thing. Sunbeam was less than okay. Like, I wasn't exactly excited about her either. I I'm not particularly fond of A Vision of Shadows. Like, that set of books has never been particularly appealing to me. It's kind of boring. I mean, I know of like the main characters that happen in it. Sorry. Uh, but I don't have any attachment to Sunbeam's relationship to her sister, Needletail. Like, it does nothing for me. So her story so far is it. I want to see something interesting for her, but the thing that kind of throws me off is that she's already an adult, right? If I had to guess, and I'm not looking at anything, like I don't know like when she was born in relation to the other characters, but she seems like a young adult, like 25. And then Flamepaw, I know, is older than he's actually is. Like, he was apprenticed and then just wasn't made a warrior. So he's pretty old. I would put him at like 20 or 22 or something. Like, he's older. They're closer to the same age. Like, it would make sense that there's a relationship between him and Sunbeam, because I feel like they're the same age, but Frostpaw is like just becoming an apprentice, it feels like a weird dynamic. Like, usually when there are protagonists and warriors, except for Power of Three's cast being shown in, um, I can't remember what, the fourth series. I can't remember what it's called right now. Omen of the Stars. uh, there was like every character's about the same age, right? I don't know. Frostpaw just seems like Frostpaw's a literal child, and Sunbeam is an adult, is a full adult that should have like is old enough to have like mates and kits, and if Sunbeam wanted to, if they wrote that into it, could already have children Frostpaw's age. I don't. If these protagonists are supposed to be hanging out together, this feels a little weird. But that's just my opinion. That's whatever. We're trying to talk about Flamepaw now. He was like 6 or 7 out of 10. Like, Sunbeam, I would say, is 2 or 3. I like her name. I like ShadowClan. I'm okay with her. Frostpaw, average. The thing about her dad, cool. Boring personality, not as fun. Flamepaw, though, I have a lot to say about this boy, and I'm excited about him. Like, I don't think it's hard to get excited about, like, the new books, because I have a feeling that since the, like, Ashfur cash grab has been destroyed, like, they've killed him again, he's gone forever. Unless they're gonna retcon that and bring back Bristlefrost as well, which would be stupid. I'm not, like, particularly excited about what's happening next. It kind of feels like we're gonna follow another, like, Vision of Shadows section-ish. Like, that was kind of what I was expecting out of this, that it's going to be, like, really exciting, cool thing, and then we're gonna have an arc where it's just, like, we're gonna mellow out and have kind of a boring plot. Like, no offense, Darktail, you had nothing to do with the plot, really. Like, you could have not been, One Star's dad, and your relationship to the plot would have been non-existent. Like, you just happened because. So, I was kind of expecting that we're just gonna have another simple, boring, whatever plot, and that all protagonists were gonna be whatever. Flamepaw, I'm actually interested in, and I would be okay following his progression, because he's not super in-depth yet. Like, it's a chapter that we read, just a single chapter, but I have hope for this boy. Like, I was kind of put off at the beginning with, like, hey, it's going to be about him, like, living up to Firestar, which was everyone else in his family before him's problem. Like, his dad had the same problem, except, like, the opposite of that, where he's like, I don't want to live up to my dad, and then he totally kind of did. I mean, what were you expecting, Rebelstar? But or his grandfather, not his dad. His dad is fine. But I have a feeling that, like, that part of it, I'm not, that was putting me off. But when we actually got to see him, I found his relationship with Baypaw so cute. I really liked that it wasn't immediately, like, siblings, like, tight siblings. Like, they're foster siblings. I expect they know that they're not brothers, but I was excited to kind of see a relationship that wasn't going to be Flamepaw and his sister Finchpaw. Like, I was excited to have protagonist in Warriors that wasn't, like, immediately shown to have a tight relationship with their siblings. Or sibling. Like, that was interesting, right? That was a good start. Like, who's he talking to at the beginning? Flamepaw. Flamepaw is not actually his brother, but it feels more like a best friend than their siblings hanging out, so I don't know, interested in that. Also, Flamepaw is really cute, okay? Very exciting, very good boy, super positive, amazing, great, excited. I kind of hope that he falls into, like, a slight Joker position where he's kind of like, I kind of want to see him take up a gray stripe mantle, but not like a gray stripe, but like Gray Paw. Because I think Gray Paw was great. Gray stripe, all he did was break the code. Flamepaw, on the other hand, great personality. I really like this guy so far. I like a little stressed out and serious young man, okay? He is not like Elderheart. He's not like his uncle, where it's like, anxiety is gonna ruin my life, or whatever, but it shows him being stressed out about aspects of clan culture. Like, it's very particular. Like, he's so serious, and he's like getting upset about like high school level consequences. Like, he thinks that failing his warrior assessment is going to ruin his life, which feels like high school level consequences. Like, whatever happens in high school is gonna stay around for the rest of his life. Like, I find that good, okay? That's a relatable character. That is a child who is looking at the circumstances in life and doesn't know yet what is happening. Like, adulthood. Like, they don't know that their whole point of view of whatever happening is gonna change. Like, I think by the end of the books that he's not gonna be thinking so hard about, like, I remember when I failed my Warriors assessment, that still haunts me. Like, I think he's not gonna care. But I like how into the world that this plays in, like, how close it is to the world building, and how it actually cares about the things that it set up. I would have liked if the chapter started maybe, like, being told that they had their assessment, and then they could see, like, his reaction, and then they go do it. Just kind of being told that it was whatever, but I liked the opening regardless. I thought Flamepaw was great. His relationship is great. He is like cocky and a bit rude, but not like Jayfeather rude. He thinks a lot of himself, and he's not like putting others down. He's just really into his skills. He thinks so, like, highly of himself, but not in like a narcissistic way. He's just like, I can do this. I got this. Like, I'm good. I like that personality. I think that's so good. I'm very excited. I really hope he holds on to it. And I hope that there's still that relationship between, like, his seriousness about the assessment and Flamepaw being like, whatever, it's just another thing we gotta do. Like, the assessment was so funny to me because it feels like he's trying so hard to be cool or do something complicated or be like, yeah, I'm taking risks, I'm doing something cool, and instead of being like calm and collected and setting himself up to do as good as he knows he can do, he is too stubborn and he worries and he pushes himself into failing continually, which I think is interesting because this means his issues aren't external. His, the thing that he's struggling with isn't like in like dealing with like a prophecy or things that are outside of him. It's him. It's him overthinking. It's him putting himself in this position. No one's forcing him. Like Lilyheart is, I want to say Lilyheart's his mentor, and she is completely fine, right? She is super supportive. She's disappointed in him by the end because she was watching the whole thing and she knows better of him, and I like that because it's great. I like seeing a character fail. Like I would have been alright with him being like super successful and being like, haha, yeah, I'm doing great. But I think he puts himself into a position to fail when everyone else is like, hey kid, just do your best. And he's like, doing my best is all of these things and I have to play like 40 chess. And he's overthinking literally everything. And he's very relatable to me. Because I think that he's overlooking the obvious solutions to his problems and to doing good, to, just try to be cool and interesting. And I love that. It's great. I'm excited to see more of that. And on another point, I really, really like the opening where he sees all the senior warriors talking about, like, code changes, and we get to see all of these characters and their reaction to, like, if we change the code, which is cool because I'd like to see background characters' opinions. We also just get to see Ivanpool straight up roast her father, so that's funny. But the end of that conversation, I like that Baypaw asks, Flamepaw, hey, what's your opinion? And Flamepaw has the best opinion I didn't think warriors would hit hard with. And I want that so bad now, and it was changing leaders. The fact that no one thought about this, that you could just, like, have shifts of leaders, that this wasn't like we have to wait until someone retires or dies, which they don't retire in Warriors. Warriors in the universe will retire after being, like, 10 years old, right? But deputies never step down, unless there's outside circumstances, like Greystripe getting kidnapped, or I don't remember other things, but it's mostly like someone dies and that's how you step down from position. Or you get like publicly shamed into stepping down, like Leafpool stepped down, I think. And that was because they're like, you had kids with another clan, it's like Tom, so now you can't be a medicine cat, which is kind of stupid, but whatever. Like, changing around positions, having shifts. Maybe this character is only going to be in this position for a year. Like, I don't know. I like that. I'm so tired of... We have had 3 ThunderClan leaders this entire time. And I'm not counting Squirrelflight, I'm counting people with Star on the end. You had Blue Star, who only was around for 1 series, Firestar, who was around for 3 and a smidge, and then Bramblestar, who is never going to die, because you just had an entire series about his body being stolen and his spirit being gone. He's not going to die for a really long time, but it would be surely great if you just removed him from a leadership position, so we can get other people a chance, because he's never gonna die. They're not gonna kill him anytime soon, because that would make everything that happened in the last series completely redundant. And I would like to see new characters in deputy or leader position, because honestly, Warriors is so... They're kind of, and excuse my language, kind of babies. I was gonna say a curse word, but I wanted to keep this child friendly. They're kind of babies about killing off characters, they could be so much more ruthless. Like, I hope that Bristlefrost was just a little taste of what they could really do, because if they wanted to, they could murder so many cats. They could just sickness. Where's just a whole wave of sickness? Just kill off a bunch of characters that no one cares about. Actually, ignore that. Kill a bunch of characters that people do care about. So sorry, Dovewing, you're having another litter of kits. You're gonna die. Just start killing characters, okay? There are too many characters, and start switching about leadership positions. That's it. That's all I want in Warriors. I like that Flamepaw suggested that, because I hope that's what they do. I hope that having a character in who's one of our protagonists suggests that means that it's going to happen, or it's going to get closer to happening. Because if they just put that in for like haha memes and jokes, you want this, don't you? And then they're gonna just never do it. That's stupid. That's kind of cruel. That's no one's gonna be happy with that. I hope that that's in the book. I hope that that's kind of how Warriors is gonna go. Because now that you've told me, I can't not think about it. Regardless, I wasn't expecting a lot for Flamepaw. In fact, I was kind of expecting not to like him. But his personality is a bit of a breath of fresh air. He is not a classic Warriors stock protagonist personality, and that's awesome. That's a-okay in my book. Like, I'm down for this guy, okay? He is young in the social system, and it makes sense why he acts the way he does, and I am down to see what this guy gets into. I kind of want to see his warrior name too. I think if it's anything gonna be like Root Spring, they're probably gonna have us vote on it, unless they had already written it. But I'm just excited. I kind of want to just see what, I want to see what he's about. I think this is great. I want to see what's happening. That's it. That's me about Flamepaw. I like Flamepaw. And everyone else in the book is I'm excited about what happens. And I really hope that this is gonna change Warriors for the better. Alright, I will see you later, probably next week, in another Tuesday Talk episode, if I ever manage to finish that. Bye.